welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I feel like I'm a newscaster, but you're going to have a short little video, and it's going to be short. My idea of a quick presentation is quick, and I don't have any interaction with you as an audience, so you're just going to be listening. And ideally, I don't want to be the video. So I've got a PowerPoint that I showed when we had our meeting, and I'm just going to do a screen record actually, and I'll talk through some slides. But really, what I'm trying to show you is we're going to have the trip of a lifetime. This is going to be so awesome. We're going to have an awesome group of kids that are going to England and France, and that's what this presentation is about. So I'll turn to the computer and tell you all about it.
So we'll be going to England and France, 2017 in the summer, in June. This would be when your students, this would be the summer between sophomore and junior year. And this website up here in the corner is where you can go to get information and actually enroll on the tour if you'd like. EF is the company, EF Tours. EF stands for Education First. And we'll talk a little bit during this video about why I chose them among the many companies that do student travel like this. The itinerary, we'll be going to England, France. It's going to be 10 days long, and this is what we'll be doing on every day. You can pause this video and you can look at this in detail. I'm just going to talk about one thing that I think is awesome about this itinerary, and that's day 4. Day 4 is time to explore on our own, and I think this is awesome, and I chose this specifically because there's a lot of cool things. There's cricket lesson in London. Cricket's a sport that's popular there. There's an art class on the Eiffel Tower day, and some students are going to love this cricket lesson. They're going to think it's awesome, and they'll think the art class was kind of cool-ish. And there will be students that are the opposite, like, oh yeah, the art class was seriously awesome. The cricket lesson was kind of cool-ish. But the day 4 is the opportunity for us to get together as a group and decide, okay, what do we want to do? We can do some research. We have a full year before it happens, so we have some time to look and find something super awesome that we all want to do. And I think that's awesome that we don't have a spelled out time. Every time is scheduled, and we're being led and guided by someone. This is a time for us to kind of do our own thing, which I think is awesome. So go ahead and pause that. We're going to talk about the 2 questions that come up, the 2 things I make sure that the video hits. And the first one is safety. Every parent out there is going to be concerned about their child's safety. We're going to Europe. Belgium just had some issues, and we're going to talk about what the company does, what we'll be doing while we're there, and why safety is really the number one thing that we're concerned about. The next thing is probably the number one thing that parents are concerned about: money. Educational travel is awesome. It benefits everyone. Is it for everyone? That's a different question. I think it benefits everyone no matter what. Is it for everyone is going to be a question that parents and students are going to decide together on, is the cost of international travel worth it? I think it is, and that's a decision that everyone will make on their own. International travel does a lot of things, especially in formative years that your students are at. You can look at these bullet points, but essentially these bullet points are my class. I teach geography, and on paper we talk about becoming global citizens, and we test on all these things, but this is an opportunity to actually make it happen. Go out into the world and make a difference and learn about these different cultures, and it's going to be super awesome.
I mean, who doesn't want their kids to have pictures like this?
In terms of safety, I am not the tour director. we will have a 24/7 tour director, and that will be a local. When we're in England, we'll have a British tour director. When we're in France, we'll have a French tour director. I am a chaperone. I will be along for the ride, but we will have someone that is there who knows the customs, and they will be with us the entire time. Chaperones are really cool because some people think, man, you're going to have a French dude and a geography teacher and 40 kids. And that picture there actually probably doesn't help that misconception. But the policy of the company is to have an adult chaperone for every 6 students. So we'll have plenty of adults as well as students on the tour. If anything happens, they have an awesome on-call service, and that's not a call center. You'll be connected to someone, usually in Denver, that's connected to people on the tour. They've got offices everywhere. One is in London, which is awesome because that's where we'll be. Another one is in Paris, which is also awesome because that's also where we'll be. We won't be going to any countries that don't have an EF office there. So they'll have boots on the ground, and it's awesome. The peace of mind policy basically says if we want to change our tour for any reason, like we just don't feel comfortable about going to England and France when that time comes, we can, as a group, decide to change our trip, invoking the peace of mind policy. The peace of mind policy also says that if the State Department ever issues a travel warning for England or London or Paris, they will not send us. And not ever, but if within the 45 days, I think is the thing. There's a travel warning within 45 days of departure, they will not send us. I think that's really important in terms of safety. There's always an out. I don't feel safe in Paris because something that may or may not happen in the future, we can change that as a group. EF is awesome. I chose them out of many other tour groups because they've been around forever. They are accredited. You can actually get, and there's a slide on this, which will go in the video here in just a second, but you can get credit. You can get high school credit for free, or you can pay, I think it's $30 a credit hour to get college credit by doing a research project while we're there. Lowest price. Guaranteed lowest price, maybe not. I know that's kind of misleading, but there's lots of companies out there that will charge you $14,000, $15,000 for this 1-week trip by putting you in 5-star hotels that are amazing and right in town square or right on next to the Eiffel Tower. I just didn't think that was a viable way to tour Europe for our students. There are also companies that will do it for cheaper, but they'll put you in hostels. I don't really like that idea. This company does a really good job at getting a good bang for the buck. It's not exorbitantly expensive, but we're not in really crappy hotels eating really crappy food. It's pretty decent all around. So this is different than the peace of mind. The peace of mind says, I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel safe, or there's a state travel warning, so we're not going. This is included in the price of our tour, and it's basically saying, if one of your kids gets sick while we're there, for whatever reason, the bills are covered. If for some reason there was a flight delay, covered. Baggage, $25 a bag, I think. If you're doing most airlines, that's covered. Not listed on this slide, but which is really cool. If there's something serious that goes on, like we're in the hospital for some reason, broken leg or something like that, the Global Travel Protection Plan will fly the parents out to the destination. So if your student, something happens and they're in the hospital, they'll fly the parents to the hospital in Paris to be with the student, which I think is also really awesome. This is about earning credit, and I'm really not going to talk about this. It's called WeShare on EF's website. They can go into detail. You're going to research something in Paris or England and make a project, and they'll give you high school credit. The cost is coming up. Now we're starting to talk about money. Cost covers everything except for what's listed on this slide. You're going to have to pay for a passport. It's $130. The passport's good for 10 years. You're going to have to pay for any souvenirs or any, extra things, any extra activities. So when we go to the Louvre, if you look back at that itinerary, we're going to go to the Louvre Museum. We're going to go to Lord's Cricket Club. We're going to do all these things, and that the entrance fees to those are paid for. But if we ever want to let's go over here, and we can, those will be our cost. And lunches. We'll do breakfast at the hotel, and we have dinners mapped out. But lunches are going to be up to us, and mostly because we're going to be out in the city, and it gives us an opportunity to get some really authentic local lunch, and we can kind of get what we want. Fish and chips dinner, I'm going to try. I'm not a huge fish fan, but I think it's going to be awesome to have like a authentic English fish and chips dinner. Lunches, I get to pick what I want, which I think is awesome. And tips, which they say $10 a day, which is a suggestion. Other than this, there's the one-time, or the big fee that you're going to get here in a couple slides. But you should plan on having this saved up as well before we go. You need a passport. If you're not an American citizen, you got to get a visa, which I can talk to you about if that applies to you. Lunches, tips, spending money, souvenirs, any extra fees, that's what we got to save for. What we're paying for in terms of the trip, we get flights, which is pretty major. Hotels, you get a private bathroom. Like I said, breakfast and dinner. You can look at the slide. I don't need to read it. But it does include pretty much anything and everything that you'd want on your vacation. And how much does it cost? $290 a month that you'll be paying for a year. The $3,800 includes a $100 enrollment fee, or a $100 discount, which they give you for 48 hours after the meeting, which obviously we might have to talk to someone about possibly extending that, but I don't know how that all works. In terms of money, all I can tell you is I don't deal with the money. Some parents are going to ask questions about the money, and I don't really have answers. I'm going to have to refer you to the company, EF Tours, and their customer service. They do all the money. You don't pay me. The tips that go to the tour director doesn't go to me. I don't get paid. Which actually brings up the question, what do you get out of this, Mr. Reid? I get to go on the trip with your students, and I don't have to pay a whole lot. I do pay a discounted amount, but I don't pay $4,000, which is what adults pay. You can do a couple things. I'm going to recommend you call customer service. You can do it online if you want. You can set up a payment plan. You can decide how you want to pay. If you want to pay this much this month and this much this month, whatever. Or if you got the money, you can just pay it all in full. Here's our phone number to call. Here's our tour number. Here is the website. And I'll put this link in the description. Application deadline is a week from Friday.
Thanks for making it through the video. I know it was tedious and long, 15, 16-minute video. But better than sitting through a 45-minute presentation. I really tried to condense it for you while still giving you enough information about what we're doing there. And I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but I'm talking with them a lot. But really, I'm willing to answer any question that you have. I didn't mean to make it feel like I wasn't willing to answer any question, especially about money. But I just don't know much about the money part of that. That's more of the EF company side of things. I deal more with the other things. But I'll definitely be willing to find out for you. Also, if you're actually interested, have your student come by my class and get a few things. This is a pamphlet that goes over the itinerary, and it's much more detailed about food and what we'll be doing than what you even saw in the video. And this one's the important one. This is the enrollment handbook. This is one way to actually enroll in the trip. But it's got lots of really good information and lots of detailed information that I don't really want to cover in the video because then it would take forever. But it's really helpful, and have them come get one of these. And lastly, but not least, the deadline to enroll, if you're going to go on the trip with us next year, is a week from Friday, so it's the 22nd. And I'm super excited. It's going to be so awesome, especially with the group of students we already have going. The more the merrier. I'm really excited to have the trip of a lifetime in Europe. France, England, 2017. Email me with questions. I put that email in the description, as well as the website where you can get more information.